Good morning.
Mean.
How we doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I am great. I'm ready to go.
Good. Good.
Sure, robot, you can record this. I record it anyways. I'm telling you, man, AI is so weird. I get it. I embrace technology and it's just so weird. All right. Hey, it's 10:30. I know we've got a lot more people to pop on. I've got a lot to cover today. My goal today is that you guys leave here with two things: a crystal clear plan of exactly how you can hit your goals, regardless of where you are standing, and uh, also a crystal clear plan as to how we can have the most impactful and well-attended step one. So before we get started, I'm going to do what I always do. So come on with it, guys. Stay plugged in today. Don't do other things. I'm going to make this move fast. Give me something good. One or two of you. Who has something great that's happened in the last week? Ish. I'm
Something
not strict.
great. We hit 20 gross for the month. That's a record for us.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Great, great job. I love that. Give me one more.
I'm going to shout out for Austin because she won't shout out herself. She was net 5. So way to go, Austin.
That's fantastic. Sometimes we need a little help shouting ourselves out. I like that. Good on you. All right. So like I said, today is all about clarity. Today is to make sure that you guys know exactly what it is that you get to do in order to hit the goals. That I'm just going to take a wild guess. I mean, I don't like making assumptions. I'm going to guess that the goals still matter to you. Yeah, like the market is still the market, the numbers are still the numbers, and it's time for this bold to inject some life into our agents and our market center. And so that's the goal. So I want to share something with you today, and it's something that a lot of you have probably heard at some point. And if you haven't, like, I'm going to ask for you to just to write this stuff down, not every word that I say. And yet what I'm going to give you now is just a really easy ultimate success formula that you can use in any and all things, and you can definitely use it in this bold launch, especially as we're at such an imperative time with it. All right. So here's, prepare to be just blown and just confused. I'm kidding. It's super simple. There's a 4-step ultimate success formula. All right. The first one is know your outcome. Now, those of you that are in know your outcome, those of you that are in leadership, you coach your agents to this. You've heard other agents coach to this, right? Like, you start with the goal in mind. You know, I deal with financial thermostat a lot, which I know you guys deal with when you're interviewing, especially new agents, right? Or agents that are looking to get to the next level of their career. And what happens when people don't know what they're going to do with the extra money? They don't earn it. Like, if there's not a destination for every dollar, then they don't earn the dollar because they just get what they need. And so the same thing applies to anything. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be financial. What is the goal? Now, you all have individual market center goals for this bold. So we're not going to judge where we stand. We're just going to stay laser focused in on those goals. So number one is know your outcome. Number two is get into action. Some of you guys have been like hyper focused on bold. Some of you guys might have some people in your market center that don't know bold is coming yet. I have no
Maybe
judgment.
Thursdays.
Whoever's talking, you're not
It
muted.
depends when we're looking.
Whoever is talking, you're not muted. If you could fix that, thank you. So we're gonna get into action. Like, if we're not gonna judge the action we've taken, maybe there's been some inaction on some of our parts. Who cares? We're going to get into action. So that's number two. Number three is know where you are. I'm going to help you with that one, right? I am going to make sure that at least daily you are updated between the numbers I'm going to give you today, the benchmarks that you have to hit, and where you actually stand. So know where you are. And number four is make adjustments all the time. Make adjustments all the time. So this is something, by the way, this is something really easy to share with an agent that's maybe struggling with the goal, maybe your team members. Maybe after this call, it's having a conversation market center focused. And again, know your outcome, start with the goal, right? Get into action, know where you are at all times, and make adjustments all the time. Super, super simple success formula. So I'm going to help you with some of the numbers on that. All right. And before we do that, I want to share with you some bold math. If any of you have school age kids, you're learning all sorts of new math right now. It is so fun to help with homework right now since they do everything weird. And I'm going to give you one more bit of math to learn. And yet there's only two things that you have to know. All right. So, and I'd like you to write these two numbers down. Write down 60% and then write down 70%. So 60% and 70%. Here's the importance of those numbers. First of all, I want you guys to just assume you've gotten all the full bolds you're going to get until step one. Now, don't get me wrong. If you talk to somebody and they're ready to sign up, you're going to sign them up. Like, you get that part, right? And yet, for the purpose of our sanity, let's just assume that we've gotten every single full bold that we're going to get until step one. Here's where these numbers are important. 60% is show rate. So let's say that you have 100 agents registered for first step only. They're not registered for full bold. They're just registered for first step. You can expect 60% of them to show up, or 60 agents. You see why I picked an easy number, right? So 60% will show. Now, I'm going to give you some best practices to jack that number up, and yet that's the average. We've tracked it for a very long time. It's actually crept up over time, which is good. It used to be closer to 50%. All right, so 60% of our first step only people, we can assume they will show. More if we do some things. I'm going to share that with you later. 70% is the average in-room conversion rate. 70%. So of the people that show up, 70% of them will choose to enroll in full bold. All right. We don't need to judge those numbers or get mad at them or get excited about them. They just are what they are. We've tracked them for a really long time. And here's what I can tell you. Sometimes conversion rates are better. Those of you that have done a lot of bolds, like, you've been in a room that was magical at some point, right? And things just blow up. We can't guarantee that, right? So we're going to go off 60 and 70%. All right. Y'all get that math, right? Does anybody have a question around the math? And no judgment if you do. I'm genuinely asking. You good? Okay, stay with me. I know I'm throwing so many numbers at you, and other than the MCAs, you're like, blah, numbers, right? I get it. I feel the same way. So I'm going to go market center by market center. I will email this out later, and yet I don't want to waste any time on your part. I want you to have the numbers. So just know that this, like, don't worry about it. Everybody has room to grow. All right. So here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to tell you how many first step only you need in order to hit the goal that you gave me weeks ago. And then I'm going to tell you how many extra that is. Right? Like, total number, and then what is your delta? Does that make sense? Cool. Sweet. All right. So I'm going to start with Kansas City. And now, Kansas City, I do know that you have the extra week, and yet I think you would have massive results if you pretended you didn't this week. Like, just pretend we're launching with everybody else, and I think that you'll give yourself some breathing room. All right. So Market Center 362, you need a total of 131 first step only people, which means you have 111 to add. We're not freaking out about it. It doesn't matter. There's some other big numbers in here. It's 111 people. You have 2 weeks to do it. Life is grand. It's a free class. And I'm going to give you guys some teasers to give as you're inviting them. Okay. So 111. Market Center 139. You need to get 81 in the room, which means you're going to add 59. So Market Center 139, you're adding 59. And then Market Center 284. You want 26 total in the room, which means you're going to add 19. And again, the two numbers are how many total first step only and how many do you get to still add. All right, so that's Kansas. That's Kansas City. Again, I'm going to send this out, and yet I would encourage you to write it down so it's in your brain now. I'm going to go through Minneapolis. All right, Market Center 697. Total needed is 19, so you have 4 to add. Like, you better go get those 4. That's a pretty solid number. I like that number a lot. So you're going to add 4 more first step. Market Center 358, you need a total of 38, which is 25 that you get to add. Market Center 427, a total of 38, and you have 34 of those to add. Market Center 1138, 24 total, which means you have 21 to add. Market Center 600, 45 total, so you're adding 35 additional between now and launch. Market Center 701, 21 total first step only, which means you have 18 to add. Market Center 378, you need 83 in the room for your goal, which is 60 added before launch. And then Market Center 876, you need 19 total, which is 18 added. All right, they're just numbers, they're clarity, don't worry about it. Last not least, Ubaldini Group, you guys, Market Center 325, you need a total of 31 in the room, and that means you have 2 to add. It's the same thing, like, I'm not here to judge, and I'm going to judge you if you can't add 2. Just kidding. All right, Market Center 138, you guys need 81 total, which is 41 added. So 41 additional first step only. Market Center 302, you need 31 first step only, which means you're going to add 25. I want you to hear me clearly, friends, family, loved ones. None of those numbers are not attainable. Not a single one. This is a free class where we feed them lunch. And I'm going to give you some more things to dangle their way. So whatever story might be in your head, here's what I need you to hear from the guy that you hired to come help your agents. I'm going to help you too. It's a doable number. Please know that. All right. So let me do, I'm going to share a couple things, and then I'm kind of moving through this super fast, and I know that. I want to get everything out that you need to know, and then we can decompress at the end with questions. Okay, if anything timely comes up, please raise your hand and I'll help you out. Okay, one thing that I haven't talked about yet that I'm going to implement, because I care about your agents like you do, and I care about you guys hitting your goals and having an amazing first quarter. All right, MAPS does not offer student loans like they used to. I don't normally offer them because I really like staying married and not running up my credit card. I have approval that I will still be married if I offer student loans. So if you have people who are on the fence and it's financial, and maybe they don't qualify for the MAPS scholarship, or maybe we find out that they didn't receive the MAPS scholarship because not everybody will, I will do student loans. Here's how that looks, just so you know. They're going to pay money up front. The standard term of the loan is $400 up front, and then they pay $75 a week starting at step 2. All right, which means it does come to a little bit more than the $800. That's because it's a literal loan. MAPS used to subsidize and they don't. So I swipe my card to pay for them to be in class, trusting that they're going to pay me. And I'm good to do it. I just want you to understand what that is. If you have someone whose financial need is strong, and they need less than $400 to get in the class, and they are willing to make adjusted payments, like if you tell me they're good for it, I'm going to choose to trust you. And that doesn't mean I'm going to chase you if they don't pay me. Don't freak out. If you tell me they're good for it, I am cool with it. So if you have anybody between now and first step that would like to do a student loan and you want to market that out there, please let me know. My assistant will have them sign an agreement. We'll get it all handled. Otherwise, it's something we can talk about at step 1, because at step 1, you're going to have people there that want to be there. Maybe they didn't apply for the scholarship, whatever it is, and they need help, we can do it that way. The other thing is anybody who does receive a MAPS scholarship, which is half of the cost, $400, and can't afford the rest, I will do a student loan with them as well. Okay, so we have student loans available. If you have any questions about that, we can talk about it at the end, or you can obviously reach out anytime after this call. Okay, so there's that. I want you to just focus in on first step from here on out. Again, if somebody raises their hand and says, sign me up for the whole thing, like sign them up, and yet let's switch our focus to first step only. Let's be hunters and look for first step registrations. I want to share an idea with you that might make your world a little easier in that regard, and also might add a little fun into it. And I'm pretty sure that you would all be okay with actually enjoying work once in a while, right? It's okay, right? So here's what I would set up. And my challenge to you would be to set this up today In fact, if there's anything you want to do on this call other than listen to me, it would be scheduling this. Why don't you find a time this week, or depending on the size of your gap, maybe it's 2 times this week, order some pizza, get all of your leadership in the same room, and then here's the kicker: invite agents who are already registered for Full Bold. Like, can we just go have fun with this? Invite agents, bring leadership in, and have a straight up call-a-thon. Call through your roster to anyone who is not registered. Treat it like a care conversation. It will come out amazing if it's from an agent. I'm not saying staff don't make calls too. It'll come out amazing from an agent. Have a care conversation. Find out what's going on in their world. Get them to come to a free class where they get free food. The bar is low, guys. Like, we can do this. So that's one idea that I would give you. Schedule a call time where you're all together. Energy creates energy. It's fun. Feed them, bring some agents in, make them feel special. And here's what I'm willing to do to help. And I know this might not sound like much, and yet it adds up. As team leaders, you will have to track this, or somebody on your team needs to track this. I will pay $10 for every First Step registration starting today over this next week. And I will pay it to whoever. So if you have an agent partner who's a Bold junkie and they come in and they get 20 people, I'll give them $200. I have no problem with that. I'm just going to give it to them. It doesn't matter. Same thing for any of your staff members. Anybody who is not directly paid to promote Bold and does promote Bold, I will pay $10 for every registration with no cap. You have somebody who's hungry and loves the phone and they want to go get all 100 of the ones that you need, I will pay them $1,000. Don't care. Y'all get it? So $10 for every First Step registration. I have no cap on it. Have some fun with it. Some of the people on here, that might sound like nothing. There are people in your market center and it's something to get the extra $50, $100, $200. So go dangle that carrot. All right. What else did I put on here? Here's another great idea that came from another Bold coach. They went to their vendor partners. They wanted to fill in as many guest spots as possible. And so actually there's a Bold location in Stamford, Connecticut that's coming up to launch. I don't even know what their numbers at. I think they were at like 140 Full Bold already before step 1. 41 of those registrations are guests. 41. And here's how they got them. They went to all their strategic partners. Y'all have an in-house lender probably that you love, or if you don't have an in-house lender, you have somebody you partner with. You may have a title company that is part of your world, and maybe inspection, maybe home, whatever it is that you've got. And this is what leadership did. They went to their vendors and said, look, I've got a challenge for you. We're looking to grow the office. We're looking to add people to Bold and add value to their lives. Could you call some of your top agents who aren't with Keller Williams and tell them about Bold? Invite them to First Step. Tell them it's free. It is a massively successful, and you guys don't have to do the work. All you're going to do is make one call to each vendor partner, and trust me, if they value the relationship, they will call a few people for you. And the brokerages that are housing these other top producing agents or producing agents at all don't offer classes like Bold. All right, so we're going to use our staff and our agents to help us. We're going to use our vendors to help us, because y'all don't have to do all the work.
All right, but if
Whoever's talking, you're not muted. Sorry. Okay, so there's that, right? So that would help us add guests, which is good for us, and we'll add people to the roster. All right. Last thing that I want to talk about, and then I want to open this up to questions. I know I'm vomiting on you, and yet I promise I will never keep you more than 30 minutes, and that's why. You're welcome. I love you. Okay, the last thing is we need to talk about First Step. All right. A successful First Step, when you guys do the work over the next week or 2 weeks for some of us, will get us where we need to go. And I have been in some hot mess First Steps, and I bet you have too. So I can't make you do anything. So this is not a decree. This is the coach that really, really genuinely cares about the success of this, giving you some best practices. All right. Here's the first thing I would suggest, and it's going to be way unorthodox for most of you. So just take a breath and it's okay. Close your market center for step 1. Unless the Bold is at your market center. Cough, cough, Ubaldini. Like, close your market center. It is one day. All leadership will be at Bold. That's your messaging. You know, if you've got a closing that day, you got to come to Bold to pick it up. Like, guys, use it as leverage. No one's going to leave you over it. and it may change the trajectory of the bold. And a great reason to close the market center for bold, and if you don't do it, no judgment, this is my suggestion, right? Is that then we'll have leadership at bold. That is the next super important thing. We need leadership from each and every market center at the first step of bold because we've got converting to do in the room. So that's vitally important. And I know that you guys are busy and you're pulled 82 different directions. I love you. I get it. Please be there till the end of the day. Just block it out now. You got a whole week and a day for even the closest one. Because, and those of you that have been there, you know that I can only have so many great conversations at break and at lunch, before class, after class. Like, I am one person. I need your guys' influence and help. And what I like to do at our break is divide the room up by market center so that the leadership who is there can kind of lead a conversation around people should take bold, helped by the agents who have already decided to take it. So you're going to plan to be there. Now, I know that some of you might not choose to close and therefore you'll have to keep some people back. I need some sort of leadership there for the entire day, and it looks better to your agents. Trust me. It wasn't that long ago that I was still taking bold as an agent, and people talk when one market center's leadership is there and the other one isn't. I will never be a part of that conversation, I can promise you, and it won't matter. Your agents are going to make assumptions when they don't see a presence, all right? And one more thing with that, actually two more things. We're going to remind each and every single person who is registered for any level of bold, first or full, the day before. We're going to utilize staff to do it. It can be quick. It's going to be a phone call. I know. I don't make the rules. It's going to be a phone call. Texts are passive. Email is passive. A Facebook post is super passive, right? So we're going to call every single person who is registered, and it's just going to go something like this. Hey, it's Hudson at the office, and I'm just calling to remind you that bold is tomorrow. We've saved you a seat and we've saved you a lunch, and I can't wait to see you there. And your goal is to get off that phone so quick before they give you a reason. Guilt is our friend. Any parent on here knows that, right? We spent money for you. We spent money for you. We care about you. We'll see you there. A text doesn't do that as much. So we're going to call everybody. And here's the last carrot that I'm going to give you. I will do, because all of us have some conversion to do at step one. I will do a step one giveaway for all 3 locations because I like you guys. So I'm going to give away a $500 gift card at random drawing, and you have to be at step one. And I will do it for all 3 of these locations. If you're not there, you don't have a chance to win. If you're registered already, you could win. It's going to be a random drawing, so nobody screams at me. All right. So when you're doing check-in, I will bring some raffle tickets. You guys will just hand them out. So again, what do they have to lose? I know, because you've told me that 90% of your agents are down. They're going to get free lunch and a chance to win $500 that they weren't going to earn that day anyways. All right. I know I just said 10,000 things. We have 8 minutes. What questions might I answer to help you with any of that? Or is anybody excited about anything in particular? Let's get some of your energy onto this Zoom, and then we're going to have a great week before launch.
Oh,
The student loan, I'm sorry, Cynthia. I was
No,
just
go
going to the student loan element just to make sure we're on the same page with that. So number one, there should never be a reason, money should not be a reason why someone doesn't go to bold. And secondly, just to get clarity on that, it's a $400 down, $400 loan, correct? Is that what I heard? Because I was going really fast.
No.
On that.
I know. And so $400 down, and then they pay $75 a week starting at step 2. So it comes to a total of $450 total. So it comes to a total of $850 that they've paid. It's a literal loan, just like they would get from anybody else. So, and what I had said was that if they don't have 400 and somebody on leadership is like, no, they are good for it, they're really going through a tough time, I will take less. What I can't take is 0, because that's the most likely to not pay a single thing.
Understood. All right, thank you.
Here's what I want you to know, and some of you had the benefit of knowing me better than others. Like, you tell me you believe in somebody, and I will do what I have to do to get them in that room. I will work with them. So just don't be afraid to come to me.
Appreciate that. You made it very clear. Yeah. Appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. What else? Cynthia, did you have something, or was it similar?
it was similar. Yeah. And I love the $500 gift card giveaway. That's amazing, Hudson. Thank you for for doing
Like
that.
blow it. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Blow it up. Blow it up. Now that is something to put on social media. I put it up multiple times between now and step one. You might have somebody that's like, I was gonna go, I don't know, and then all of a sudden they register. Like it's just anything. I know from experience, most of you have seen from experience, if we can just nudge them through that door, then we have a great chance of getting them registered and helping them in their business and their life. If they're not there, it's nothing. And reminder, I know it's in all the emails, anyone you have that has applied for a scholarship, they must be at step one. They are automatically disqualified if they don't come. What else we got? What other questions? What other things are you excited about? Something you're going to do this week? Like, give it to me. Let's go.
What does that look like with them paying you back? Does they pay it back to the market center and the market center pays it back to you? Or how
They
does
pay me.
they pay you
So
directly?
we've drafted an agreement. I've used it before. They're going to basically they're going to give me a credit card and we're going to run it on the day of Bold every single time. Now,
Okay.
again, same thing. Just if you like, these are people with money problems, right? Like, or money challenges. If it's step 4 and they need to switch to another credit card, all they have to do is ask. Or I've had people before that have reached out and been like, hey, I have a paycheck from my other job coming tomorrow. Can you wait a day? Like, I'm not here to get anybody's card declined. Like, I'll work with them. And we used to take like cash check, all that stuff. And I'm not 100% opposed to it. You got to tell me your person's good for it. Cause I used to get stiffed a lot. When we have their credit card number, we already have their authorization. So we run it. Again, I will be flexible for anybody you tell me to be flexible with. And if you're like, no, you want to take the credit card, then I appreciate the honesty. What
Thank
else
you.
do we have? Who's ready to win? Like, are any of you afraid of your numbers? I know some of them sound big. Guys, they're all doable. What can we do in these last 4 minutes? How can I leave you pumped and ready to go? Who's ready to execute? Let me hear from you. Let's go. Or just absolutely nothing. That's fun too. It's super great. It's my favorite.
Well, Hudson, I love the idea of, I know my camera's not working. I love the idea of having agents in on the call because we had already scheduled a call for our whole leadership team tomorrow to call through. And thank you for breaking down the numbers because I think 111 is very doable with our entire leadership and the amount of agents we have in our office.
It really is. And I'm telling you guys, if you're sitting there telling yourself a different story, now some of your agents that are registered are going to be like, nah, like, I don't want to do that. We're not going to judge it. When you're asking somebody to step up and help you, that is a compliment. I promise what you're going to do is make them literally feel special. And I would say, even if they're not registered, maybe it's a call to your ALC. In fact, if you have ALC members not scheduled, maybe it's just a sprinkling of guilt about that. Like, hey, can you help me get some more people? I'm telling you, involving your other agents, it's great. It's going to make them excited. In turn, it's going to add excitement to you and your staff, and it's going to make your world easier. All right, give me one more. Let's hear it. I don't care if it's something you're excited about or something you're going to do. You already planned something. What are we doing to win? Let's hear it.
Well, I think anytime you put extra money in front of people, it's an incentive. So that $500, which is super generous, thank you, Brian and Hudson, to keep you married, I think will absolutely, incentivize people to not just register and dump, right? If they think that they can get something out of it more than the content, because we know the content's good, but for all people, it's what's in it for me.
It's totally what's in it for them. And right back to that reminder, keep in mind, it is not like, hey, are you still coming tomorrow? No, we saved you a seat. We saved you a lunch. I can't wait to see you. Click. Like, we are excited. We are their friends. Here's where I want to close. I'll send out the recording. If you have staff that wasn't on here, please share it with them. They should know. They should have buy-in to these numbers. I'm going to share the numbers when I send out the recording in case anybody didn't write theirs down. And lastly, I don't have Bold travel this week. It's Christmas for me. I don't have Bold travel this week, which means I have free time. For the love of all things holy, please reach out if you need my help. Don't get to step 1 and be like, you couldn't figure it out. If you're struggling, you're a human being, and I will meet you where you are and we will figure it out. All right. So like literally nod your head. Y'all got it, right? Like, I have your back. and you will come to me if you need assistance, okay? We are hitting goals. That's 130 for Ubaldini. That is 150 for Kansas City, and it is 120 for Minnesota. We're not backing down on goals. We're hitting them and running over them. You got it? I appreciate you guys. I cannot wait to see you. At this point, I'm going to plan to still have a call on Monday just to be safe. And if it seems there's no reason, so leave it on your schedule for now. We'll see how this week goes, okay? I appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon. We're going to get bold. Bye.
Okay.